So this is lesson 37C in Algebra 2, and we're going to talk about parallelograms. And I have a parallelogram up there for you to look at. We're going to go over 4 special properties of parallelograms. First one being, the pairs of parallel sides have equal lengths. So this side and this side, they're parallel, and they're the same length. This side and this side are going to have the same length. Okay? So that is property number 1. Property number 2 is angles opposite each other have equal measure. Notice I have 1 tick mark there and 1 tick mark there. I also have 2 here and 2 here, showing that the ones that are across from each other are going to be equal measure. The sum of any 2 adjacent angles is 180. That means that if I were to take angles next to each other and add them up, I will always get 180 degrees. If I take this one and add them up, I will not get 180 degrees. So they have to be next to each other. And the third part is the diagonals bisect each other, meaning that they cut each other in exactly half. Bi means 2, sect means to cut. To cut in 2 is what bisect means. So this length and this length will be the same. This length and this length will be the same. So when it says they bisect each other, that means they cut each line exactly in half. So we can get a lot of information from those 4 principles when it comes to parallelograms. So let's go ahead and get started on example 37.4. So notice what the instructions say. ABCD is a parallelogram. Measurement of BAD, angle BAD, so it'd be this whole angle right there, it says, is 65, which I put on there. And it's asking us to find angle ADC. So we're looking for this angle. And then it's also asking us to find the x and the y value. Alright, so let's look at this angle right here that we're supposed to be finding and see what we know about it. Well, we know that adjacent sides, remember that? Adjacent sides are going to be added up equal to 180. So that means this angle and this angle add up to be 180. So 65 plus, we don't know this angle, so let's just put a question mark there, equals 180. So this then is going to equal 180 minus 65, and see, that's what I have right there. So that's that angle. So 180 minus 65 is going to be 100, oh, I can't even see that hardly, 115 degree angle. Okay, now it's asking us to find out what x and y are. Well, I know the length of this is 7, and if this line is bisected by this, then this length here is also going to be 7. So x plus 2 is also equal to 7, so x equals 5. And looking at this one, we know that this length is 4, so that means this has to be 4. So y plus 7, that length has to be 4. So we subtract 7, we get y equals negative 3. So there's my y, there's my x, and there's my angle that I was looking at. And that's it for that example. So this is example 37.5, and it's asking us to find x and y. Alright, let's look at our properties and see if we can get any help here. It said if we have 2 adjacent angles and add them up, we get 180. So I could say that 5x plus 10, that's this angle, plus y plus 10 which is this angle, equals 180. Okay, notice what I've got here. I've got a y and an x. That's not going to help me because I have two variables. And remember, in order to solve an equation, I can only have one variable unless I have two equations, and then I can use my system of equations, elimination and substitution, to find it. So that didn't help me. But that angle and that angle both have x's in them only, and those also add up to be 180 degrees. Okay, so let's take 10x plus 5x, that gives me 15x. 50 and 10 is 60, equals 180, and then you can find x that way. So once you find x that way and you get x equals 8, now I can take that 8 and plug it in there and get 50 degrees for that angle, and then I know that this angle of 50 degrees plus this angle equals 180 degrees because they're adjacent to each other. So 60 plus y equals 180, so y equals 120. And that's what they asked me to come up with. Okay, so that is the end of problem set number 37 in Algebra 2.